Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Have you ever wondered what games you should sell or you should use? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Find out on our top 10 list what games you cannot miss. Don't forget to subscribe to Purge Reviews.
The Village Crone. I think I kickstarted this game. At least I have a memory of kickstarting this game. It's sat on my shelf for a long time. You know, I found the box appealing. The colors are muted, which is a big turnoff for me. But with the witch and the bodies up, I found that pretty enticing. I turn it around. I see a 90-minute play. And I see standees and generic-looking cards, and I would always put it back on the shelf. Finally got it today. It says 1 to 6, includes a solitaire play. Good luck for yourself. This is a game of redundancy. You do the same thing over and over and over. And you tired of zombie games? This game will make you a zombie. Try playing a zombie game when you are a zombie. Same thing. You move this little guy. You have to do this spell. You have to get this card. You have to pay this. It's just terrible. I'm sorry, Anne-Marie DeWitt. I really am sorry. It's not broken. It works. There are much worse games than the Village Crone. I'm being too hard here. Let me be fair. It's just boring. And that might be a death to a game, right? Is that the worst thing I can say about a game? It's just boring? With that said, my wife really liked this game. So much I continue to play it with her. I invited friends over just to play the Village Crone. And they were like, why are we playing this game? I married her, that's why. That was my answer. I just had to pack it in. The same incantations all the time. That got 86'd really quickly. And then you have this thing where really you're just positioning your familiars, your whatever they are, and certain things so I can draw these cards so I get the right combination. I don't know where the fun was at. If you can find the fun in this game, let me know. I will send you something for free. Explain the fun to me in this game. Because my wife couldn't do it. Now, it was kind of neat how people would fall in love and then turn into a frog. But there were no repercussions for their actions. Nothing happened. It scored me victory points. So these town folk, which was only 4 or 5 of them, just standing there and we're casting spells on them to get victory points and there's no payoff for it. Okay, you're just going to say that's the game. Fair enough, but man, did it feel weird. It just felt weird. The theme felt weird. It's just strange. It's just weird. I don't know. You know, Kickstarter gets a bad name sometimes. I think some really good games that come out on Kickstarter I've been really happy with. You know, Zombicide came out. It's just a lot of games that I like that come from Kickstarter. World's Fair was on Kickstarter. Very good game. This is what people talk about when they say, well, publisher never... It's this game. It's Village Crone. It's, and I'm sorry. I'm being really tough on this game. And I played worse games. I mean, let's talk about, what was that big footsie game I played? And oh gosh, go through my reviews. I played terrible games. It just felt like, did you really think this was the idea? Okay, I'm done. Purge, don't get this game. It's not for you. If somebody wants you to try it out, cast a spell on them and vanquish them. Purge. Okay, let's take a look at the components for Village Crone. You're going to have... These are one of those like thick boxes, kind of has that finish to it, maybe like a flying frog box I really like. The cover is very striking, although it's very muted in the colors, like it's very dark. But they kind of went for a spooky thing. You see the people coming out. A lot of spells going to be happening here. You're going to get a number of these stands. They all kind of work the same. They bend down here at the bottom so they can stand up. These are the type that are pretty... I mean, it's not like it's going to rip, but they can be blown over pretty easily just by moving. Each one's going to have a different character on it. It means nothing. There's no special powers. And this is the entire game laid out here for you. And you're going to get a number of these in different colors. Like I said, they don't really mean anything per se, but they are the player colors. You are going to get a rule book. I like the components, so I'll lay it out here with pictures. The game is fairly easy to understand. There are some rules for the spells that are in here that aren't anywhere else. Okay. And then you're going to get a board that's modular, and you're going to get 6 of these, and you can put them... There's a whole bunch of different combinations and makes the game... Really, it just drags the game out more, but you set these up like so, and you'll have 6 of them. My screenshot's not going to be big enough for all of these. Maybe I could put these 2 here. And you can mix match, different combinations, etc. I like this combination because it gets the game moving, which is what you want in this game. You are going to get a few frog tokens. These are cardboard. Let's see if I can get one of these out. And this is where you can turn people into frogs. The nice cardboard chit. And this is where they fall in love. Okay, I'll come back to this thing where they fall in love. You're going to get these. These work with the bind spell. You just throw them on a location. Fairly easy to use. This is a Witch's Broom, first player token. Very nice. You're going to get a number of what they called familiars in each of the colors. These are kind of nice, I guess. They're bland, little tokens, but they do have the different symbols on them in addition to the colors. So if you're colorblind, you just look at the symbols. And these will be moving around the board, kind of chintzy, kind of cheap. You're going to get a number of these standees with different characters on it. These are kind of like the townsfolk, the NPCs that you're doing spells on. Let me get back to this heart thing. The heart thing is kind of neat, as in when they fall in love, you put this cardboard on both of them. But it's just easy. It's hard when you move them around. The thing always falls, and it kind of looks better than it is. You're going to have... this is how you're going to score victory points. You can have these cards. They're just really, the quality's okay. They're a little thin, but they're just kind of bland. There's no artwork on them. These icons, what you do in the victory points, it's not really, thematic. So, Witch's Scheme, daunt the villagers. Get the farmer, peasant, miller the village grain, bind the village grain. Why does that daunt them? I don't know. Persecute the peasant. Get the peasant to the forge. Make the peasant fall in love with any other villager. Then transform their peasant and other villager into frog. So you're just being mean to them. But, there's no artwork that brings it to life. Then you're going to have a number of these, which are the cards that you're collecting. They're smaller because, probably for table size. But they just have the ingredient on it. There's nothing else. There's a... Eye of the Newt that is in each pile. That will be a wild card, but for the most part, that's all the artwork you're going to get. Those are going to be opponents. I mean, the components are okay. The boards are all right. It reminds me a lot of Flying Frog with the board and some of the stuff, not the cards. It's okay. Everything to me is very bland. You can see that there's a lot of green space on the board. The art of the town is pretty neat. But these I don't know. It's all okay. I'm not going to write home about it. In the day of miniatures, you have standees. That's okay. I can get over that. It's all right. It's okay. I mean, it's not going to break on you. It'll last. But I don't know if it's going to pop off the table and you're going to love it. The rules for the game are fairly okay. There's some rules that are in some weird spaces. So you get this, which really needs to tell you everything you need to know. This is, you put the screen behind you so you can hide your stuff, and then this tells you the game. There were some things on here that really were in here, and I get it. You're going to put everything here that's in here, but I needed them to be both places because there's like one or two things like you could have fit it on here. Why didn't you? Something had to do with the love spells and whatnot. Saying incantations is ridiculous. I'm not into that. That's garbage to me. You'll learn the game from the rules. I'm not going to pick on the rules. They're fine. I may not have made the same rules that they did. So be it. Not for me. The rule book is okay. I'll leave it at that. Although my biggest rule question was the fact that was the big space where the land was that considered one tile when you're going through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I played it that because it sped the game up. Otherwise, it just took too long. Okay, I'm going to quickly show you how to play this game. It's actually fairly easy. Let me show you how you score. So you're going to have cards that'll have 1, 2, and 3 on them. And first person to 13 victory points wins. You get points by accomplishing these spells. Let me show you a couple of them. Here. So, afflict the blacksmith. You get 2 victory points if you switch the blacksmith and the miller, transform the blacksmith into a frog. All that means is that you're going to combine a spell. But let me just show you the difference here. If it has a white, it means it can be done by anyone. If it's the dark black, it must be done by you on your turn. So when you want to do the spell, you have to summon and then transform on the same turn. There's no way to track it from turn to turn, and the rules specifically say you can't. It has to be done one turn. So get the blacksmith to the village green and get the priest to the forge. That could be done for you. So sometimes these will be easier because, oh, that's already done. I just scored 2 points where, doing this may take a lot of work. So this could be very easy to get done if somebody else does it for you, but this one can be very difficult because you must do it yourself. So what do you do on your turn? A turn of the game is fairly easy to take care of and track. The first thing you will do is you will find the tithe barn, which is here, and every round you will take one of your cards, and let's say this is your hand, any one of your cards, and you will tithe it. I'm going to give up a flower. Can you see that? A flower. And then I will put that face down the tithe barn in turn order. And that's how the tithe barn gets set up. The rest of these will have cards that will already be there. So the farm is where you get soil. There'll be a stack of those there. The forge is where you get fire. There'll be a stack of them there, etc. So then what you're going to do, in turn order, each witch, which is you, is going to move, cast spells, and score any victory points. So I counted this all as being 1 square. The rules weren't really clear on it, so I just counted this as 1. So if you were moving through here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how we played it. But you get 6 spaces to move, and I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's a grid here on this, these little squares that you'll be moving through. Think kind of Last Night on Earth, okay? If you've played that. So you can move your guys, and you'll have a number of these on the board. There's a way to get some extras on the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, blah, blah. So you can move it around 6 spaces, and then you can cast spells. And everybody's going to have this that tells them how to cast a spell. So let me kind of show you how it works. It is super, super simple and not complicated. So this says, get the priest to the tithe barn. Well, if the priest isn't at the tithe barn, let's say he's in the forge, how do you get him there? Well, you could summon him, move any one villager or anyone familiar. Familiar is just your little tokens that you're moving, to any location except the village green containing one of your familiars. So if I'm Brown and I had one in the tithe barn, I could just summon him which I would need 1 flower and an ingredient from the location, or any 1 ingredient of something to the tithe barn. So I would need a flower and any other 1 agreement. And then I would have to say this is kind of the weird part, but by beast that flies and beast that crawls appear at once within these walls. So you're expected to say this. We kind of skipped it after a while. And then use fortune to draw 3 of the same ingredient. So fortune's right here. Draw any 3 cards from the tithe barn and add them to your hand. It requires 2 silver to do. And once was wrought is wealth unseen. I command thee now, riches be gleaned. So basically all you're doing is you're moving around and you're collecting these to cast these spells of what you want. And what you're going to be able to do is, so at the end of your turn, wherever you have these familiars, you'll draw 2 cards from that location, and you start with 3 moving around, so you can, at most, at the start of the game, you can get 6. You can bring more out onto the board by conjuring. And you'll look, if you can quickly see what spells it is, doesn't matter, but you can see that it requires different things to do each of the spells, so you want to move around and collect those things that you want to do to collect these. And they'll do things like, and there's little rules like, if you're in love, if you get turned into a frog, you're no longer in love, that's how you break a spell. Sometimes people will be, like if a town gets if you bind a town, nobody can move in and out of it. So if you need to move somebody there, you have to unbind it first. So there's little rules like that, but for the most part, you're just kind of running around, collecting what you want, and a lot of it comes down to what of the scoring cards you're able to get. And if you're lucky enough to get some of the scoring cards that are easier or have already been accomplished, you're going to be closer to winning than you will be by doing it the hard way. Who should buy this game? No one. No one. It's not much of a game. Even mass market. I mean, maybe if you put some kind of license on it, maybe call it The Village from M. Night Shyamalan or something. Maybe a Harry Potter theme. At least you could sell it to kids or something with the theme now. I don't know that anybody's going to be interested in it from a mass market, which is really what the mechanics are here. They're really mass market. It's really just get your guy over here, draw a card, use it to cast a spell in the right combination. It was so frustrating that you would bind a place. I got what I need to do. Now I need to unbind it. I get that's the game, but it seems like it just prolonged the inevitable at times. So, not a great game for me. Pass it. I'm not even going to recommend you try this out. Watch that one fly right by your window. Village Crone. Definite purge. And that's my spell upon this.